Why do you look like you're miserable? Huh?
Because you make me feel like the man.
Why?
You made me get the tickets. You made me talk to the agent because you didn't want to ask which line it was. We're staying in my house. And then you're like, I don't want to go up. I have anxiety. Like, I feel like the fucking man in the relationship, and it gives me the ick. Like, genuinely.
You still love me, though?
Yes, I still love you.
I'm getting the Dolly tickets
But
tomorrow.
it's hard for me to act like I'm not mad when I am. I can't fake it.
What's going on, boys? So that video that you guys just saw is Alex Eubank, and I'm sure most of you guys know who he is. He's one of the most popular fitness influencers in the space right now. And I'm gonna be real, like, I used to watch a lot of Alex's videos when I was coming up on my fitness journey. And this video, I just want to make sure that you guys know, this video is no way hate towards Alex, right? I respect him for everything that he's done in the fitness space. And I actually had a little conversation with him 2 years ago, right? When I used like his young LA code, and then we chopped it up in the DMs. But here's the thing, Alex, his relationship is a clear example of what not to do when you're in a relationship. So if you guys don't know, Alex, he's a millionaire, right? He's one of the most successful fitness athletes in the space. But right now, he actually just got engaged to his girlfriend, his fiance now, called Shelby Haas, right? And Shelby, she's a saleswoman. She makes about 2 million per month, right? 2 million per month. You feel me? So she's making a lot more than Alex. And you know, most of the time, this isn't, when you're already rich, if you have a woman who's making more money than you, usually money is not like too much of an issue because she already got her own, right? But here's the thing. There's a lot of red flags about what I've seen from some of the videos that Alex has put out himself between him and Shelby, right? Including that video that was the intro to this one, right? So you guys heard it there. She feels like the man in the relationship, and she said this more than once. Like, she said this in multiple videos, and if I find them, I'm gonna put them up, right? And she basically low bros Alex in videos. And obviously I know they make content, right? But I just find it weird. Like, that's something strange, you feel me? To demasculate your man online for social media, that doesn't click with me, you feel me? And so I truly think that Alex is being a simp, straight up. Like, Alex Eubank, if you're watching this video, you're being a simp, you know. And I'm saying this because I care about you, and I care about everybody else who's watching you and taking tips from your relationship. Because, and I don't want to talk shit about anybody's relationship. You feel me? Like, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I don't know if it's really like that. And I don't want to send any, you know, bad energy towards someone's relationship. But I'm gonna be real, bro. If everything that I'm seeing from these videos, if this is really what it's like, and this is what you guys are showing, like, if it's even worse behind the closed doors, well then, bro, put your clock to it, put your watch to it, because, like, I don't think your relationship will last. You feel me? Just straight up. I don't think that relationship is gonna last. Like, Alex, you know, he's a man of faith, which I respect. Shelby, I'm not too sure about, you know, her beliefs, but when you're a man of faith, ideally what you want is a feminine, nurturing, caring woman. And I'm not saying that, you know, Shelby's not nurturing or caring. Once again, I don't know their relationship, but I can tell, and she's literally said it out of her own mouth, that she is in her masculine energy around Alex. And from the way I see these videos, it's like you could tell he's acting like a kid. I forgot how old he is. I think he's around my age. He might be a little older than me, but he just has like no sort of masculine frame. You feel me? Like, he's a little too childish. And you know, you could be playful when you're with your boys, right? But when you're with your girl, like there's a time and place to be playful, and then there's a time and place to, you know, be masculine, be assertive, be direct, right? And take the lead. You feel me? So it's bad enough that she makes more money than him. But now, you know, she's the one making the decisions, right? She said it herself, she's like wearing the pants in the relationship. And guys, women do not like this, right? Women like when they can just turn off their head away from work and just like relax, right? Everything is taken care of because you got it. You understand? That's how you truly get inside her mind and inside her body. You feel me? If you could just make her relax, make her turn her brain off, right? They always say, oh, I love it when a man can turn my brain off, right? And I've had women say this to me. Now, I'm not a multi-millionaire like Alex. You know, I don't have a Lamborghini. I don't have a mansion. I don't have 1 million Instagram followers. But yet, the women that I'm with are always super feminine, super nurturing towards me. And it's because I know how to get them in their feminine state. And that's not something that money can buy. That's not something that status can buy. That's just who you are. You understand? And I think we are in an epidemic of men who just act like little kids. Like I speak to guys all the time at the gym, you know, or just outside, out and about. And so many guys, like, they be my age, right? I'm 24 years old, just turned 24 a couple of days ago. And I meet guys who are older than me by a few years, or sometimes even in their 30s, and they're acting like little kids. Like they're acting literally like they're 16 years old. You understand? Like I look back at who I was when I was 16 and I cringe. But then I realized, yeah, you know, I was a teenager, but even then, you know, even then, I'm like, well, why did I say those things? Like, why did I do those things? Like, that's super fucking weird. You understand? But now, everyone that meets me always thinks that I'm way older than I really am. And it's because of the way I carry myself, right? And women always respect this. You know, I used to actually have, since I'm so young, right, 24, most of the women in my life have always been older than me, right? Either a few months, sometimes a couple of years, right? And this is on purpose. Number one, I don't really like girls who are 18, 19. They're just way too childish for me. They act like little kids, and I just like, that's not attractive to me. I like a girl who's a little more mature. But number two is I just attracted those type of women from my masculine frame. And here's the thing about it. When I was younger, when I was like 17, I've had that attraction from like women who were like 25, right? Women in their 30s, right? And they would have no idea that I was 17, mind you. They would think I'm like in my mid 20s because I still looked fairly old. I had a, you know, full grown beard. I had a little bit of muscle mass. And once again, the way I carried myself. So I would talk to girls who were in their mid 20s and up. And I remember I used to always lie about my age, right? Because I thought that if I tell them, obviously, I'm 17, I'm underage, that's going to turn a lot of women off because, you know, everyone says women love older men. But there's a reason why they love older men. Yes, the status, yes, the financial security, but if she just wants you for a good time, that's not why she wants an older man. She wants an older man because they come with more experience and a stronger masculine frame. They just carry themselves more serious, right? Most of the time, right? Most of the time. They've been through more life. They've been through hardship. They've literally like hardened up as a man. And that's what actually attracts them, right? Like relationship stuff aside, you know, provision aside, you know, money aside, that's what truly gets them wet, right? A man that knows how to lead her, tell her what to do, right? And just takes care of things, you feel me? Takes care of the situation. So I had all those qualities. That's why I was attracting them in the first place. But I thought that, oh, if I tell them I'm 17, like that's going to be too young. And so I used to lie about my age. It would be no problem, right? I would say I'm 22, 23, 24, sometimes 25, and I would get away with it. But even now, like once I turned 21 years old, once again, I'll still would attract those 25-year-old women and up. But the difference is I stopped lying about my age because I noticed that even when I do tell a woman that, oh yeah, I'm only 21, or right now, like, yeah, I'm only 24, even if I'm younger than them, they literally never have an issue with it. Never, right? If anything, they try to validate themselves towards me. You know what I'm saying? They try to, you know, like prove themselves towards me. Like, oh yeah, like, yeah, you know, I'm 28, but I got a young soul. Like, they would say shit like that. You feel me? And it's like, it's funny because I literally used to lie about my age. But the reason why they don't have a problem with it is because I actually carry myself as a man. I know how to lead her. I know how to be direct. You know, we're texting, right? We don't text back and forth, right? I set up the date. I tell her what to wear. I choose the location. I pay for the tab, obviously. All the things that a man should do. And with Alex, it's like, yes, he has a great physique, right? I'm sure he's charismatic, right? He has millions of followers, millions of dollars. But I could tell, bro, like, you could tell if you really know the game. You could look at Shelby and she just wants to, I'm gonna just be real, bro. Like, she looks like she wants to get crushed. Like, she wants to get crushed by a guy who just knows how to take charge. You know what I'm saying? Someone who has that edge. And quite frankly, like, now no weird shit. Like, I'm not here to judge another man, but Alex doesn't come across as a guy who has that edge. That's why I don't think the relationship would work. Do you understand? He's a great guy, I'm sure. Right? I'm sure he still pays for majority of everything. But he just doesn't have that edge. And you gotta have a real experience with women to know what that is. You understand? Like, you can look at a guy and know if he's slaying, right? If he's slaying them. You could tell from the way he carries himself, from the way he speaks, from the way he knows how to adjust his tone of voice depending on who he speaks to, right? He might talk to, you know, his boy, be a little more like playful, right? Like a little more joking with him. But then he knows how to get in his masculine frame when speaking to a woman. And that's very important. You can tell from the way these guys dress, from the way these guys walk, right? That's why I find it so funny when guys are like, when they pretend like they get women, right? They pretend like they have options. But you could just tell from the way this guy carries himself that, like, you're not getting anything, bro. Like, you have no experience. And I'm a man, right? I'm a man and I can see this, right? Now, I would say I have a gift of, like, being very socially aware. I'm very aware of, like, body language, and, like, I'm really into that stuff, like body language, you know, psychology, social dynamics. Like, these are things that I actively pay attention to, and I kind of have to for my career, right? Because I coach men, literally help them become better versions of themselves and help them become more masculine so they can have a attractive dating life. But here's the thing about it. Even though I'm a man and I notice this, what do you think? What do you think women do? You think women don't notice this? When they see a guy who, you know, yeah, he might have a fresh cut. He might be even in shape, right? He might be tall. But, like, he just doesn't have that it factor. Like, he doesn't have that roughness to him. You understand? That, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you right now. Women know when a guy is getting laid, right? They just know. They know. Like, if you guys have female friends, right? Which I hope you guys don't. But let's say you have a chick that you're platonic with. Ask her, right? Point out a guy and be like, yo, do you think he's getting pussy, right? Do you think this guy is slaying, and why or why not? And she will tell you. Like, if she's actually your friend, she will tell you why and why not, right? Because they can sense this. And it's all from your edge, right? Your masculine edge. If you don't have that, it's like, it's over for you. You could have so much money. You could have everything in the world. If you don't have that edge to you, bro, you're never going to get their problem of desire unlocked. That's why, like, I'm so persistent on this topic of unlocking a woman's primal desire, because that's what she really wants at her core. You understand? And I make videos talking about height, right? Height, yes, height plays into primal desire 100%. Physique plays into primal desire 100%, right? Looks play into primal desire 100%. But at the very core of primal desire is your masculine frame. Because you could be the best looking guy, tallest guy, in great shape, but if you act like a bitch, women will treat you like one, straight up. That's just how it is, right? We all know that one guy, tall, right? Not ugly, like decent looking guy, but he gets no women, right? He just acts like a little kid. Grown man, but acts like a little kid. Still acts like he's a teenager. We all know a guy like that. You guys probably have friends like that, or you may be someone like that. And it's possible to change. I just think that there are certain things that men have to go through in life, right? Some, like, you literally have to go through trauma, traumatic experiences, being in the streets, being around people who I probably shouldn't have been around, forced me to grow up young, right? Forced me to grow up quick because I had to adapt, right? I was getting in situations with guys twice my age, so I had to learn, how to conduct myself to not make myself a target. But I think a lot of guys, especially if they don't grow up in a place like New York, right? If they don't grow up in a place that may be so hard, right? Like, you feel me? Like city life, they don't get to experience that. And so they live like the soft life, right? They live the soft life. They're born with like technology, right? And they just have everything handed to them. And I'm not saying this to hate. I'm just saying that if you are a guy like that, who maybe you grew up in the suburbs, maybe you grew up with like getting a lot of things handed to you, maybe you never been in a fight in your life, you have to just be aware of this and recognize that you have to just be more masculine, bro. You have to. You have to, right? Because not only will women disrespect you if you're not masculine, but men will too. Like, men will see that and they will make you into a target. You feel me? Wrong place, wrong time. If someone is looking for something, they're gonna pick on you first, right? They're not gonna pick the guy who's jacked and who's masculine, who carries himself a certain way. They're not gonna pick on that guy. They're gonna pick on you. Doesn't matter your height. Doesn't matter your height, right? It's all about the way you carry yourself, the way you speak to people. You understand? So, Alex Eubank, do not take tips from his relationship. Yes, I can't even say I'm happy for him getting engaged. I don't think that's like much of an accomplishment. But, if he's happy, good for him. You feel me? I'm glad that he's happy. But, like, if some shit happens in their relationship, come back to this video and tell me that I'm wrong. Like, I'm right. You feel me? If he doesn't fix this soon, that relationship is gonna go down south. And not just his relationship. This is a problem with a lot of guys. They get into these relationships and then they just act like the woman. You understand? Like, yes, bro, you have to be the one that pays the bills. Yes, bro, you have to be the one that sets up the dates. Yes, bro, you have to be the one that, tells her what to wear. Yes, it's okay to be a little more rough, a little more aggressive. You understand? Like, don't be so shy. Don't be like the soft guy. I'm telling you right now. Your money won't save you. It won't. Right? You need that sex appeal. You need that masculine frame. How do you get it? Well, getting into the gym is definitely one, right? When you're pushing weight, when you got hundreds of pounds on your back, you're doing squats, like you're pushing past failure, yes, that makes you more masculine 100%. That raises testosterone 100%, right? But you can still go to the gym and be completely soft guy, right? Have no backbone. You understand? So what it really comes down to, and yes, you can have a diet that raises your testosterone. That helps a lot too, right? Once I stopped eating the bullshit, I cut off all the processed foods, the junk foods, and I started eating, the way a man should. I started eating real foods, whole foods, clean foods, right? Red meat, 10 eggs a day, You feel me? Fish, all of these things, whole foods, avocados, sweet potatoes. Yes, that increases your testosterone. You're gonna be a little bit more masculine. But here's the thing, bro. You could have high testosterone, you could have a great physique, and still act like a little kid. So this is what you gotta do. Number one, I would recommend you to sign up for some sort of boxing gym if you've never been in a fight. If you've never been in a fight in the gym, in real life, right? Never been in a fight, you gotta go to a boxing gym. You gotta experience what it's like to get punched in the face, and you gotta experience what it's like to punch somebody in the face, just straight up. Because if you never have that confidence in the back of your mind that if some shit was to go down, if an altercation was to go down, that you can handle it, or that at least you wouldn't, maybe even if you don't win the fight, you're at least confident enough to stand up for yourself. That's the most important thing, right? It's not always about winning the fight. You could be a great fighter and lose fights, right? It's about the fact that you were willing to stand up for yourself, your loved ones, etc. So if you've never had that experience, then go to a boxing gym, bro. Learn the ropes, learn at least the basics. Do a couple spar once a week once you've had a little bit more experience, and learn what it's like to experience that pain. This is gonna increase your masculine energy in your frame a lot. Like a lot. It's gonna make you grow up quick. You feel me? Number two is you wanna have a morning routine. You just wanna have routines throughout your day. So all of my clients, what I do with them is I give them a 5-4-5. 5-for-5 was a method passed down to me by one of my mentors. If you guys know who he is, his name is John Mark. But essentially with the 5-for-5 is it's 5 goals that my client or you would work on, right? So this could be, getting in shape. This could be making more money. This could be attracting, going on 2 dates a week, right? Whatever your goals are, right? They have 5 goals that they come to me with. And then you want to have a 4-step morning routine that aligns yourself with these goals. So for me, it's I wake up, make my bed, I drink 32 ounces of lemon water with sea salt. This calms my body, calms my mind, wakes me up, right? Gets rid of all the brain fog, right? Wake up at the same time every single day. You feel me? Then I do 50 push-ups, right? 5:30 in the morning, I'm doing 50 push-ups every single day. You guys can see on my Instagram, it's literally documented for over a year now, right? So this puts myself into a state of taking action. Excuse me. Because I'm working on my physique. I'm working towards my fitness first thing in the morning, right? This hardens my mind. And then last but not least is I pray and I journal, right? I align myself with the Most High and I write down all the thoughts that I have on paper, right? Get it out of my system. That's my morning routine. My clients, they have a similar version depending on their goals, right? But just establish your own morning routine. Just a quick one, doesn't have to be 2 hours, 4 steps. The whole point of this is you're going to stay consistent with it. Every single day, you're going to be keeping promises to yourself. That's how you actually build self-respect. That's how you build a masculine frame. Because every single day when you're doing that morning routine, you're checking off those boxes, you start to take yourself more serious. And your masculine frame is a direct reflection of how serious you take yourself. Because if you don't take yourself serious, then that's when you let, your woman say things like that about you. Like things like you let your woman walk all over you. You let her little bro you, right? You let other people, your coworkers, your friends, poke jokes at you, right? You're always the target. You're always the victim. Why? It's because you don't carry yourself with that seriousness, which is very important, right? I'm not saying you have to be the fucking Terminator and just be like, super serious all the time. But majority of the time, you should be the guy that people know not to play with, right? Especially strangers, right? Strangers and your woman, she should know that, yeah, like, I'm not gonna play with my man. Like, she shouldn't even have a thought of that. You understand? She shouldn't even have a thought of that. If she thinks it's okay, especially it's posted on social media like Shelby has with Alex, bro, you're already in a bad spot. You feel me? So that morning routine is gonna keep you aligned with your goals. And then you wanna have also 5 daily needle moving tasks. So basically just 5 tasks that actually bring you closer to your goals. So those 5 goals that you wrote down that you want to hit for the next 3 months, 6 months, you want to have 5 daily tasks that align you with your goals, that move you closer to them. So all my clients get custom tasks, right? I update it in their dashboards every single week, but you're gonna have to create your own. You feel me? So you make your tasks, you get them done every single day. You're checking off the boxes. Oh, I did my 5 tasks. Oh, I did my morning routine. And you're gonna see over time, you're waking up the same time every day. You're doing the cold showers. You're going on runs in the morning, right? You're not missing no meals. You're tracking your macros. You're gonna take yourself a lot more serious, and this is gonna show in the way you carry yourself. You feel me? And then the next thing you want to do is you simply need to get more experience with women, right? Women that you literally you really find attractive. Not some 6s, not some 5s. I'm talking about like 7.5s and up. And if you feel like you can't attract that, well then you got work to do. But you still gotta try. Right? You still gotta try, you still gotta put yourself out there. Because the more experience you have with them, especially in the bedroom, I'm telling you guys, that bedroom confidence, that does a lot. Like I lost my virginity when I was only 15 years old, and that played a big role in my confidence today. Because before then, I was constantly getting rejected. And so I always had this thought in the back of my mind that I can't attract the woman I want. Until I lost it. And then boom. Right? Then boom. Then I had that, I proved to myself that I could do it. And then once you get even more experience and you learn how to dominate them in the bedroom, that's when shit changes. Right? I'm not gonna get too explicit in this video, right? Might have to leave that for the next one, but I'm telling you guys that bedroom confidence is real. You feel me? You get a woman to do whatever you want when you're laying up with her. That confidence will carry over into every single aspect of life. The way you walk, the way you talk is gonna be different. You feel me? And women won't play with you like Shelby's playing with Alex. You feel me? So, Alex, if you're watching this, my fault, bro. Just letting you know, bro. I would just watch out for that. You feel me? Like, get it together, right? She's making a lot of breach. You're making a lot of breach. Do what you gotta do, but keep your masculine frame and don't get your heart broken. You're too old for that. Like, don't get your heart broken, bro. I'm telling you right now. You feel me? You look a little too in love, a little too head over heels for this girl, and that's a red flag. If the man looks more in love with the chick than she does with him, that's a big red flag, right? So guys, learn from this situation, right? And don't make this mistake. Don't let your woman shit test you like that. Don't let your woman be in her masculine frame, in her masculine energy. But this is only gonna work if you are in your masculine energy. So make sure you stay aligned with that. And if you want my help, guiding you every step of the way, helping you unlock your masculine edge, helping you get in great shape and master your daily habits, which is actually going to build up your masculine frame, right? The same way that I did for myself and the same way that I do for my clients, so that you can actually attract women who are genuinely like obsessed with you. You feel me? Because there's no better feeling in the world than a woman who is like genuinely like obsessed with you. You feel me? And she would do anything for you. Like she looks at you with like the most, like she just quote unquote worships you. I don't like to use that word because you feel me, because of my faith, but she basically worships you, right? She kisses the ground you walk on. There's no better feeling in the world than that. So if that's something that you want and you want my help directly, click the link in the description to book a one-on-one call with me. I don't take just anybody into my program. So you got to be a guy with, stuff already going on in his life, and you just want to be able to take it to the next level. But click that link. We're going to learn a little bit more about your situation. You're going to learn a little bit about my program, and we'll see if it actually makes sense for us to work together. But I'll see you boys in the next one. Make sure to keep in mind everything I said in this video. And if you liked it, like, subscribe. See you boys soon. stay dangerous.